Everybody. Hope everybody had a great week. I'm Dr. Finn. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. And someone able to present the agenda?
Mr. Fredwell.
I'm not sure if it's been presented yet because I don't see it on my end.
No, I'm pulling it up now, and I'm going to share my screen. There you go. Can everyone see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Dr. Finney, can you see it? Can you hear us?
Upstairs.
Dr. Finney? You hearing us? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. Dr. Finney?
You bear with me 1 second.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I want to apologize. I had to switch to another computer. Okay, and I'm ready. Let me get out of this.
There's an echo.
Okay, there's a bit. It should be. Does it sound better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to switch computers. And we go through approval. First start with the roll call. Meeting's been called.
Melvin Scale?
Yeah.
Dr. Alvin Armstead? Anna Ortiz? Warren Napper? Tambila Covington?
Here.
Cynthia Collins,
Here.
Brandon Williams, Louis Finney,
Here.
Stacy Francis,
Alvin Armstead is here. I think I may have been muted.
okay. Josh
Um,
Miller,
Here.
thank you.
Thank you for the roll. We do have a quorum. If we can move to approve minutes, July 17th.
So moved.
Motion,
Second, Tambila Covington.
motions are made by Josh Miller to approve the minutes as presented. It's been properly seconded by Pastor Tambila Covington. There's any unreadiness, any questions anyone might have?
Dr. Finney, I would like to abstain, given I was not part of that meeting. Thank you.
Make sure that that all those in favor with accepting the minutes, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, if we can allow the record to also reflect one abstention. Thank you. If we can now move to the review of the quarterly reports.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. So as far as the quarterly report for quarter two, this is a quarter summary for citizen complaints for this quarter. There were 2 complaints received in quarter two. Let's see. And of those 2 complaints, they are still open investigations, and they are for conduct unbecoming. That's what they're categorized at the moment. And then for the same quarter two, for departmental internal complaints, we had 2 also in that quarter, in the second quarter. And of those 2, one of them was for departmental directives, and the other one was for vehicles operation of. For the vehicle operation of, there was 1 sustained violation in the second quarter. And for the departmental directives that I mentioned earlier, that was unfounded. And that's all I have.
I have a question if possible. I know we have received that report in our package in an email, but can that be shared on the screen just for working reporting records? Please.
Sure thing. Give me one moment. Pull it up.
Thank you.
Captain, while they're pulling it up, if I may ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
This is my first meeting on this committee, and while some of these rule of conduct violations are self-explanatory, could you maybe just give us a brief explanation for some of these, like courtesy and vehicles operation of, what that means?
Sure. So vehicle operations of typically is anything that has to do with the operation of our vehicles. So The most common thing for this, when you see the vehicle operation of there being like our departmental sustained complaint, it will be where upon the investigation, the conclusion of the investigation, if we sustain it, it means that there was a violation found that the officer committed during the operation of a motor vehicle. Like if they got into a car accident or something, they may have contributed to the car accident. Excuse me, sorry about that. And then the other one you mentioned was courtesy. And so so something like along the lines of courtesy would be like if if a citizen may call, for example, and say that, hey, this particular officer was rude to me or used a curse word or something to that effect, that would fall under a courtesy violation.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Also, before we continue, I want to apologize. I'll be remiss if we can do an introduction because I didn't realize we had new people on here. If we could just do an introduction, I'll start with myself. I'm Dr. Louis A. Finney Jr., acting chair of this particular committee.
I'll go next. Good evening. I'm Timbula Covington, and I am acting vice chair.
Hello, I am Cynthia Collins, and I am new to the committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alvin Armstead. I'm new to the committee as well.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Melvin Scales, and I am a neophyte as well. Thank you for the privilege of serving with you all.
Hello, my name is Josh Miller, new to the committee as well, lifelong Winston-Salem resident.
And I'm
Good
Captain.
evening.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, go ahead. You go first.
Good evening. I'm Takesha Red. I go by Keisha. I am the staff liaison to the Citizens Police Review Board, and I'm an assistant city attorney here in the city of Winston-Salem.
And I'm Charlene Gooms. I am the recording secretary, and I'm with the city attorney's office.
And good evening, everyone. I am Captain Charles Olivo, and I am the commander over our professional standards division. I look forward to working with all the new folks on the board.
Have anybody that we missed? Any other guests? Okay, thanks everybody. You can continue, Captain.
Thanks, Dr. Finney.
So Captain, as you know, I'm new as well. In terms of what we're seeing here on the screen, is that a normal scenario that would occur quarterly? Is there a trend that is going downward in terms of complaints, or just a perspective for me, because I at present just don't have any.
Yes, sir. I think from what we see here, it kind of fluctuates, and you'll see that like even in quarter 1, you saw that there were 9 complaints in quarter 1, and 2 complaints in quarter 2. So it fluctuates. Our workload does, it fluctuates. It can fluctuate drastically. So yeah, I guess I would call it the norm, because you can see it up and then you can kind of see it down from time to time.
Sure. I'm just thinking, there's always this thing about summertime brings out everything. Does it tend to really go up in the end of second quarter, in the third quarter, pretty high, and then it drops off? But again, it's just a perspective for me.
I haven't really looked at it from that perspective, but I will say generally when we have more interactions with citizens, the more interactions we have, so the busier we are, right, on patrol or in any perspective, there's probably going to be an increase of possible complaints in general.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Dr. Finney, I think that's all I had as far as the complaints and the quarter review.
Thank you for that update. Are there any questions or comments anyone have? We move to the next agenda item. Or Keisha, you have anything to add?
You're mute.
Not as to our quarterly report, no.
Okay. Thank you. Hearing none, if we can move back to the agenda, please. And thank you for the report, Captain Oliva.
You're very welcome, sir.
There you go.
Next item of business is the nominating committee. Keisha,
Yes, it is that time of year again. As stated in your committee bylaws, the nominating committee is selected at the October meeting, and they meet between November, December they're tasked with identifying candidates to run for the position of chair and vice chair. In years past, we've had people kind of volunteer. If there are more volunteers than positions, we could have a formal election. It just kind of depends on how much interest is there for those positions. But I would need 3 individuals to either, again, volunteer or to be elected to serve as the nominating committee. And then those 3 individuals will be tasked with reaching out to individual committee members to gauge interest in whether they would want to serve in the position as chair and vice chair for the upcoming year. And then that election would take place, and then you all would have your chair and vice chair starting for our January meeting in 2026.
So Keisha, what I thought I heard was that Dr. Finney and Trimble Covington are both interim at this moment for current chair and vice chair.
Yes, that is correct. They agreed to serve through the last 2026 meeting, 2025 meeting, excuse me.
Great. So if there's an opportunity to move forward and to confirm a nomination for both of them, I would imagine that it's a good idea to make a motion, if that makes sense. I mean, that's just my perspective.
Well, at this point, we would be selecting 3 nominating committee members to then reach out to individuals, initially reach out to the either sitting or serving chair and vice chair to see if there is interest in serving again. And then if not, or if there are other members who may be interested as well, to have a slate of candidates. And then, of course, at that meeting, we would open it up for nominations from the floor as well, if there were anyone who had a change of heart between when the nominating committee spoke with them and the January meeting and decided that they so had a desire to serve in that capacity, they could then nominate themselves from the floor at that January meeting.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so if anyone's interested in volunteering, don't all shout at once, but yeah, just let me know, and I will then set up a meeting with those 3 members to kind of chart a game plan for who will reach out to which candidate and how that will go, so that we don't have multiple people asking people the same questions at the same time.
I have a clarifying question.
Yes, sir.
Can the acting chair and vice chair serve on that nominating committee?
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing in the bylaws that prohibit that.
Okay, I'll serve on it.
Same here.
And Keisha, you know my background. I'm always open to working on governance at some point in time, but again, I will defer to those people who have been on the committee longer than I have. But if there's no other takers, I'd be more than happy to serve with Pamela and Dr. Fanning as well. But again, I'll defer to those who've been here longer.
Right. Is there anyone else interested? Okay, well then it looks like our 3 volunteers to serve as the nominating committee will be Dr. Lewis Finney, Reverend Tambila Covington, and Dr. Melvin Scales. So if there are no other interested members, Dr. Finney, you can call for a motion to approve these nominating committee members, and then we can have that vote. And then I'll, again, as I said, reach out to you all individually to set up a meeting so that we can kind of go over ground rules, and then you all can reach out to committee members to gauge interest and have a nominating committee report at our next meeting.
Have another clarifying conversation before we
Yes.
go. And that's if can the person on the nominating committee also nominate themselves if they're interested in running for the office?
There is nothing in the bylaws that prohibit that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
And
responding.
we're functioning by the Robert's Rules of Orders, I would imagine, parliamentary procedure. So
Yes.
yeah, you're absolutely, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Thank you.
But hearing no, is there a motion on the floor to close the nominating committee said members? And I believe that is for myself, Pastor Kabila Covington, and Dr. Scales, be the people to represent. Is there a motion for that? Oh,
So moved.
okay. Motion
Second.
and properly seconded, made by Tabella Covington, seconded by Dr. Scales. To appoint the
No, that was Alvin
That was
Armstead.
wrong. Yeah, that was not me.
Thank you for
Armstead.
thank you for clarification. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you very much.
Motions are passed. Next item on the agenda is consideration of in-person or virtual meeting for 2026. This is something that came up from our previous meeting and just discussions because we've been having virtual meetings, potentially having 1 or 2 face-to-face meetings. And that's kind of my insight from the previous meeting. Now let Keisha come in, get us introduced from our attorney, Keisha. So if you can start that process, thank you.
Okay, yes, our current ordinance allows for in-person meetings or virtual meetings as long as the body meets and votes to decide which meetings will be held in what manner. This body has been meeting virtually, and I think it has allowed the flexibility for members to attend. However, there is some discussion of having at least 1 or 2 in-person meetings out as we meet quarterly. Out of that 4 meetings a year so that people can have an opportunity to fellowship and meet in person. And so I put this on the agenda from time to time just to kind of allow, and I wanted to put it on the agenda for this time because I knew we would have new committee members coming on, just so that you all can have some discussion as to whether or not you want to continue to meet in person for 2026, or if you want to have a combination of in-person and virtual meetings. I'm sorry, if you wanted to continue to meet virtually, or if you wanted to move to have a combination of in-person and virtual meetings, or if you wanted to have all meetings in person. It's really up to the pleasure of the body, but I did want to put it on the agenda so that you all could have that opportunity to discuss that.
The meetings are, just to kind of restate, so particularly since we have new people, we meet 4 times per year, correct?
Yes.
As far as been virtual, and I think from my perspective, I kind of brought some of this up earlier, is I think just my opinion is at least maybe entertaining 1 meeting per year, at least face to face, because I don't think we got a chance to see who these people are that we're actually talking to, that can be kind of helpful from us getting a better understanding of the police department, the works, the staff, and each other. But that was my own just my own perspective as a chairperson and a member, that it could be somewhat helpful. But I again would like to make sure I follow whatever the pleasure is of this committee.
If I can offer, in past boards configurations, the preference tended to be in the months when the days were shorter and it was dark to meet virtually. And then in the warmer, lighter months when it was light outside at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, to meet in person. I know our July meeting has been in person before, and our April meeting. So that's what previous boards have decided to do, but as of course it is up to the pleasure of this board what they will decide. But if you want it past precedent, that has been an option that the board has considered and approved in the past.
So a couple clarifying questions, just as far as normal protocol. Is that due to COVID? Prior to COVID, were we meeting Zoom then as well?
No, prior to COVID, all meetings were in person.
That's what I figured, that this is really more of an adjustment based off of COVID, not based off of common practice.
Yeah.
The other question that I had was just related to other advisory boards. So other advisory boards meeting face to face, hybrid, or is it still all virtual?
It's a mix, but the overall trend is that, especially for boards that meet after work hours, meeting virtually has allowed for more robust participation, because it didn't factor in the commuting, the family, kids, school, etc. So it's just been a mix across the city. But City Council did amend the ordinance to allow for remote participation because of one of the reasons, because of the robust participation that the remote meetings did allow for. They opted to keep it because they could have gone back to just in-person meetings after COVID. And I will say, this isn't a decision you have to make tonight. It's just something that as I say, I put on the agenda periodically because I want you all to know that it is something that can be revisited at any time. So if you don't have a decision about it, if you want to think it over, you're certainly free to do that. This is not something that has to be voted on tonight.
And again, Attorney Keisha, there can be a mix, correct?
Yes, ma'am. There can be a mix. The only thing is you can't have what's a hybrid meeting. Hybrid meeting, you can have a member participate remotely in an in-person meeting, but you can't have a hybrid meeting where half the people are virtual and half the people are in person.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Dr. Finney, I remember some years ago having the privilege of working with Keisha on a particular board here and related to the Winston-Salem Foundation, and we were in the middle of COVID. And it was just, we were all struggling to try to figure out what would be best for ourselves, the community, and public health, and all of those things. And we just really wanted to meet with one another and be face to face. The whole idea of at least having maybe one or two in-person meetings, regardless, if our health situation doesn't change, I think it would be just terrific to be able to do that at least once or twice a year. And it's just a comment. Going through COVID back in 2022, 2021, we were all really struggling to make sure that we had some sort of connection. And I think it just benefits every one of us to be able to have that option to do. So just more of a comment perspective.
I will certainly be in agreement with that as well, to at least have one or two in person if possible.
What about you, Josh?
The first thing that came to my mind was if we're going to have a meeting in January, I realized that by then it'll, to Keisha's point about it, when it gets dark, I realize in January it gets dark very early. But if that's the first meeting of the year with a newly elected chair and vice chair, I think it's beneficial for us to all meet in person to start the year out. That's just my first thought. I have no preference on how many virtual and how many in person, but I do think it's important to start the new year out more I mean in an in-person way.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. What's the issue with the darkness? That's just a question.
I'm assuming people don't want to drive when it's dark. I don't know.
Yes, there were some elderly members in the past and some women who had expressed concerns about being out and in the dark. And their preference at that time was to have the in-person meetings during the year where it didn't get dark until 8 or 9 o'clock so that they could get home before it got dark.
Are the meetings at the police department?
No, they're at City Hall.
City Hall?
Mhm.
Yeah, that answered the question for me too. Thank you.
Okay. I'm open to a January, July. You might have any thoughts on that one?
Sure. I think that's terrific. That's a nice spacing. And if anyone, has any concerns about, going to their cars across the street or wherever it is, I'm more than happy to escort you. I'm probably taller than most people, but I'll present well and protect you as much as I can.
There's a motion for consideration for the January and July meeting to be face to face.
Just for clarification, we are on the third Thursday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Third week in July, Dr. Armstead, may be a busy week for.
It is for Rowan. I literally just opened up my calendar. So yes, for the both of us. January wouldn't be a problem, but July may be a challenge.
We could maybe consider moving that to another day if need be as well.
Okay, so we could do third week, but just a different day. Is that what I'm hearing, Dr. Finney?
Is that, I'm assuming there's nothing that permits us from changing that day. Am I correct, Keisha? I'm assuming that we're locked into that day. Only bylaws don't restrict anything that strict.
Well, so by ordinance, we are set for the third Thursday of each quarter. So if it were a regular meeting, I'd have to think.
The ordinance actually puts in the day when that was whoever
It
created
does.
Very
It does.
Our flexibility. But
So I would have to think about how procedurally we would do that, because technically if we were to meet any other day than your regularly scheduled meeting, it would be a special meeting and not a regular meeting.
so maybe since we got almost a whole year for that, maybe we can take that on until it comes.
Yes, I say yes, you certainly can. If January is everyone's pleasure, you can certainly agree to meet in January, and then at the January or April meeting, decide how you would like to handle the July meeting.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I would like to as well. I know we have another member, Miss Cynthia Rucker. She's on and she has not shared her perspective, her point of view as well. So would like to give her time and space if she has any thoughts on that.
No, I'll go with the majority. Thank you so much, Pastor Covington, for giving me the opportunity, but I'll go with the consensus.
You're welcome.
I think the next item was the training calendar. We're ready to move past that.
No, we hadn't gotten to that yet. So am I hearing that you want to vote on in person for January?
Correct.
Okay, so then you all would need to do that because it has to be reflected in the minutes that there was a vote to move for that January meeting to be in person.
Thank you for that, for the insight. Is there a motion on the floor to move the meeting to January in person?
Moved Armstead.
Okay. Motion's been made, Mr. Armstead. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on readiness? Okay, all those in favor of having a meeting in January face-to-face, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion is passed. Our next item in new business is discussion of training calendar 2026.
Yes, this is something because we had new members who would be coming on. I wanted to put this on for January or possibly later into 2026 to have Captain Olivo go over some of the code of conduct, the use of force policy, and some of the things that govern how the Winston-Salem Police Department does its job, how the Professional Standards Division does its job, so that as the board, you all would be more informed about the policies and procedures so that the quarterly reports that we review may make a little bit more sense, having had some explanations on the governance documents that kind of guide what the information is in those quarterly reports. And that is something we've done in the past with previous boards, and just for whatever reason, because there's been a mix of people who had the training and who had not had the training, we had not put it on the agenda for discussion. But now I believe that all of the people who had attended that training in the past have now rolled off. And so I don't think anyone, as the board is currently configured, has had the benefit of hearing that training. And so I wanted to put that on the agenda for discussion to let you know that is something that we can certainly schedule. It's not something that you would need to vote on. But because it would make the meeting, or could make the meeting, a little bit more longer, because it would be a 30-45-minute presentation. Before I put that on the agenda, I wanted to just have the board discuss, ask questions, and to make sure that was something you all were interested in.
On that, I think it's a good idea. I haven't gotten training myself because of the timing, but given that we have new people and even returning people that can benefit from it, I like the idea of January, but would like to hear feedback from everyone else who's here as well.
Yeah, I fully agree, Dr. Finney. It's it's important to all of us to level set. There's a lot of new people, myself included, and I think I feel more at ease with weighing in on matters once I am up to speed with everything that Captain Olivo has learned over his years of service, as well as Keisha's efforts to support this. So yeah, I think training would be important.
I'm in agreement as well.
I agree. And in consideration of the technology piece and involved with doing a 45-minute presentation, I vote in person.
I agree also.
I would say the whole presentation isn't 45 minutes, but we like to leave enough room for question and answer. So you wouldn't be looking at slides for 45 minutes. I just wanted to clarify that piece.
I agree, but just for just point of reference, so instead of a 1 hour meeting, perhaps we may be in a 90-minute meeting on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
And so if then that is something, as I said, it doesn't require a vote. I can just get with Captain Olivo and make sure that we have those training materials that would go out in your meeting packet. And then he would be present, either he or one of the sergeants would be present at that January meeting to go over the material with you. And then to hear feedback from you all about other training topics that you might be interested in receiving over the course of the year.
All right, that seems to be the last item for new business, unless there's any other discussion on the training calendar. Anyone else have anything else you'd like to share or discuss before we move to an adjournment?
At your pleasure, Acting Chairman, I would like to ask Captain Olivo just his perspective on really just some information about the length of service that he's had with the police force and why he even chose to serve in the Winston-Salem Police Force.
Yes, sir. A little bit about me personally. I'm a New Jersey native, born and raised up
What
north.
part?
Jersey City. So
Okay.
right across from, yep, right on the Hudson River.
Okay.
Exit 13 on the turnpike, 14 on the turnpike.
Exit 7.
You said what?
Exit 7.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm from Jersey City. I came down to Winston-Salem in 2006. I had family that lived here. In 2007, I was hired by the Winston-Salem Police Department. I decided to work for the Winston. I only applied to the Winston-Salem Police Department. I was living in Winston-Salem. I purchased my first home in Winston-Salem, and so I have a heart of service. And I wanted to put bad guys in jail. That was, 18 years ago now. So I got hired by the Winston-Salem Police Department in 2007. I've spent most of my career on either patrol or our criminal investigation division. I was a detective and a supervisor in the detective division for about half of my career. And as of December of 2024, I was given the opportunity to come to our professional standards division. And here I am. That's me in a nutshell.
Well, thank you so much for your service here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
I appreciate it.
Really, it's just a pleasure. I'm looking forward to meeting you face to face at some point.
Yes, sir. Well, in January we'll meet.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sure, but I know New Jersey to Winston-Salem is different.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Vastly. But Winston's home to me now. There's no going back now.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure you like this weather a lot better too.
And the affordability as well.
Oh, 10 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the introduction. Anything else before we close? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, and enjoy your week. It's pretty busy with Winston-Salem. Their homecoming and everything else going on. I'm not a hawk. I went to university. I'm a University of Maryland Eastern Shore person. I didn't go to WSSU, so I don't understand what all the hoopla is about. But I didn't offend anybody over here, so let me stop talking. Okay. What's on the floor to adjourn?
So move.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed week.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Good night.
Take care, everyone.